Hey guys, it's Chris your Senior back from CNH Smallgy again for another review video. This one deals with Snowblower since it's called early November here, and we're already having a bunch of guys come over here. This is actually my 8th Snowblower this past, or I'd say this early part of the month, and this is one of my regular routine guys that has his stuff done usually well in advance of the actual snow coming, because I'd say majority of people, absolutely about 95% of them out there, they call when they take a snowblower out of the garage and they get a foot of snow outside and they can't get it started and they want the job done yesterday. And then I simply tell them it's not going to happen, sir, because you should have did what the other guys do, bring it over in like October or early November out there for that. And this guy is an older gentleman, and he had a snowblower for probably the past, I think it was about 10 years old. It's a Craftsman 8 horsepower 27-inch path. This is a Briggs & Stratton overhead valve engine on here. This is a 2004 on the date code on for that, and this is one of the last genuine Briggs engines that are designed and built by Briggs and made in the United States of America, as opposed to the later models of the Craftsmans that have the cheap Chinese clone engines on them, as I call them. These ones are American sourced, they're not the Chinese equivalents, because anytime you see the newer ones out, it says Sears Craftsman engine on the recoil unit back here. This one's clearly straight, or let's say clearly illustrates Briggs & Stratton. It's a power built overhead valve snow style engine, and it's an 8 horsepower overhead valve horizontal shaft design on this specific one. This one's basically built like a tank out there. This is basically their we'll call it mid, high, and premium grade style snowblower. These things typically retail for, like right now, about 2015 price, probably around basically about $1,000–$1,100 if you go up to the store and like buy one of a similar size and comparable horsepower, plus a cutting path on it as well too. This is also a self-propelled 6-speed drive unit on it as well too. And that's basically all the specifics about that. What happened was, this guy called me up here last week. He pulled it out of his shed down there, and he said he couldn't get it started, so he called us up immediately, and we came over and picked it up out of his house out there. And we found out that apparently the guy, it looked like he dumped a whole bottle of what was it called? What's that? The red stuff called? It's Stay-Bil. That's what it is. It's Stay-Bil. He dumped a whole bottle of, like, I think an 8 or 12 ounce bottle of Stay-Bil into the gas tank, hoping to get the thing running better. Well, apparently it didn't work, because the entire fuel tank had to be taken off. Fuel line had to be cleaned out. The carburetor had to be cleaned out and rebuilt. And he had a very small amount of like a brownish gray dust after I got done cleaning the tank out, and it almost feels like a powdery grit, almost like some kind of a real small dirt particulates. And he had basically fuel contamination issues, and we always reiterate over the phone and in person with a customer that you only can use clean, fresh, non-contaminated gasoline in your machines, such as your snowblowers and your other lawnmowers out there as well too, for your lawn and garden equipment too. And we got it all cleaned up for him over here today, and it's running great. And you got a nice big auger system down there in the front too, as you see down there at the bottom. This guy has never hit any like rocks or stumps or anything else, because I've seen quite a few guys basically ruin the auger portion of these machines, because they put hardened steel bolts in the shear pin area down there, and it basically snaps. It'll basically either break the bar or screw up the transmission down there in front down there, and basically you're going to need a new transmission down there. And those things are not those are not cheap at all. They're usually between $100 and $200 some dollars out there, depending on specific model and type. So always use OEM parts whenever you actually have your machine. Don't try to Mickey Mouse it and jerry rig it in some other way that was never designed for that. So let's get this thing started here, and you'll see how it starts up here. It should start up in one pull basically, because there was one other thing I want to mention. Some of these small engines actually run better on high-end like 93 octane gasoline that I personally have seen. I basically did a test where I took 87 and 89 and 93 octane, and I tested the ethanol content, in the gasoline, and I have found that the 93 octane gasoline has the smallest amount of ethanol in it. It was usually around like maybe 1%, 2%, 3%, somewhere around there. It basically fluctuates from, you go to Sunoco, Exxon, Sheets, Gitco, stuff like that out there. But it seems to be 93 has the lowest octane rating out there as opposed to the typical 87 grade gasoline out there. So that's something to keep in mind, because it'll tend to keep your gasoline longer in storage, in practical storage life out there for that. So let's get this thing started here, guys. Turn all the way over, prime it one time, and see how it goes here. Nope, I forgot to put the thing on switch. There we go. And there you go. Fires up in one pull. That's how it should start. That's if it's running good. This guy's machine is in still great shape. No smoking at all. Everything works perfectly fine on here. The augers work fine. Let's see if we'll look down inside there. Yeah, it's spinning over. It's spinning over perfectly fine down inside there. Great for that. Try the drive system on here. That drives great, no problem. Yeah, most of these higher end machines, they have two different types of kill systems on here. You have your one over by the carburetor baffle system over here, which is actually all it is, a plug. You take it in and out right there for that. And you have a secondary one that I forgot to switch over here, right here. It's off and on as well too. Plus they also have the electric starter on here if you're simply unable to pull the machine over for whatever reason out there. So that's basically a review of probably about the 8th snowblower we had over here already this season. This is a Sears Craftsman 8 horsepower 27-inch cutting path snowblower with the genuine Briggs and Stratton overhead valve proven engine, as opposed to the later, I'd say post 2006, 2007 Chinese engines as they start switching over to for that. So if anybody has any questions, comments, whatnot about something like this, give me just drop me a message on my page here, and I'll try to answer any questions you guys have. I'll see you guys.